for Gamer Legion since CS2 came out. I think Kezi has gotten a lot better. I feel like Melly as well has really stepped up her game, was already having a very good season in Go, but CS2, it feels like she's just hit another level. You need these pieces all coming together and taking shape here on Anubis. 9Pandas' map pick, of course, and Gamer Legion Prism decide to start on the CT side. I think this map is even more T-sided than it was in Go, so it'll be interesting to see what 9Pandas Fearless do now they've got the newfound freedom on the offense.
Oh, they go in very nice and hot. Just immediately running down the middle, and they get scared. Sure, Kezi does get one kill as she backs off. But surely all the space that they have created and taken right now over on this A bomb side, but maybe not. The stand is so good here on Gamer Legion. The pistols go awry, running out of bullets. And even though the initial plan, it works out nice. Sure, they set foot on the bomb site, but they can't stay alive.
Yeah, huge round from Mrs. Fire, just dancing away around the bomb site, even getting the reload off, just staying alive at the bare minimum was enough because the rotates were coming in through camera. There was one through A main as well. That was really impressive. A really big hold coming in for Gamer Legion Prism. 9Pandas Fearless, they get the space, but they don't get the plant. A full eco now on the horizon for them, and a really good chance for Gamer Legion Prism to extend their lead and give themselves some confidence coming into the second map.
The SMGs are already going to be peeking right around the corner. Just trying to peek for information. Similarly here, over towards water. And, alright, there we go. Kill goes their way. And they spot even a second one, so there's a lot of information in the hands of Gamer Legion, as well as kills. 9Pandas, what is the plan going to be? They're going to be wrapping back up towards A, which does only have one player there currently, so maybe if one of these pistols connect, they could make it, but the cavalry is arriving, more CTs stepping up on the site. Alright, Keisu does grab one. Is there more to be getting? That's already the bomb plan. That's already a win in my book.
Oh my goodness me, the flashbang kind of backfires. Joanna will find one. That's dead body. Everyone's dead. Miss Fire's just having a little bit of fun with it. Trying to throw some chaos into it with Shoot. Manages to get a couple of kills. But look, you invest into that with, what, a P250? The rest of the players armed with Glocks. You get a bomb down and 2 kills. That's job well done if you're 9Pandas Fearless.
Exactly, with that, that's some extra cash in the bag. Just enough for Victoria to get an orb out on her way. And actually something that really caught me by surprise is I was looking at the stats and everything of this very first map, and the most orb kills there was Victoria with 5. Like, that's relatively little, and sure, we are now, of course, in ML12 in comparison to ML15. But at the end of the day, the economy was really so back and forth that often an orb couldn't be bought, and seeing an orb out this early is a good sign here for 9Pandas, and it gets a kill immediately.
Yeah, Inferno also just kind of sucks for AWPing at the moment, so that will also play a factor. But you're right, where the economy was so fragile for both of the teams, there wasn't really an opportunity to really bring it out. Already has resulted in success. An A attack on the horizon yet again. It's 3 for 3 for 9Pandas Fearless into the first letter of the alphabet. But Jonana and Kezi are holding on. It's a 3 versus 2, and they've got the rotates in the right place, and the bomb is not even down. Oh, actually, as I say that, McCary will start to make her way back over now. Okay, Kezi's in such a prime position here. Tati. Oh, we'll find her. That is a very diligent clear.
Selena McCary, no kit in her bag. I should just slowly back off, try to save her rifle. But that was just really, really well done. 9Pandas immediately bring the heat, bring the pace, have the decision making as well here. And Gamer Legion struggle to adapt.
It's a bit rocky, especially after you lose the first player in towards dark. You've got a lot of players for 9Pandas Fearless already operating towards A. That was always going to be the intention. The utility looked pretty good from Gamer Legion on the rebuttal. As soon as they saw the smokes fly in, they dropped 2 incendiaries. They tried to close the gap, but they landed a little bit shallow. One wasn't deep enough, and as a result, you can have the players scaling forward. And I think you even got Shu just running through one of them already, trying to give a lot of space open for the rest of the 9 Pandas to fan out over the bomb site and make it very difficult for Game Allegiance to trade them out. Nice round back. All the guns come into play. It's a success for the 9 Pandas.
Flash is very good, at least Victoria off of the angle, but still has a shot. But the CTs have moved into different positions by now. And surely they would have to sense of what the direction is going to be. Melly here with that very first contact. Of course, the one with the pistol does lose her life. But Joanna does strike back. That's a very nice kill up on Xu. So immediately, a very pivotal player into the mix has been taken out of the round. And 9 Pandas back to go. Looks to be perhaps middle here. Very interesting approach, and it's been completely left open. So this is great. They can now abuse that part of the map, try to overwhelm. And I mean, by now, Gamer Legion realized that it is open. Try to maybe go back, but is it going to be enough time? Oh, sure, there's damage, but the kills continue to go the way of 9 Pandas Fearless. Joanna is suddenly the last woman standing, and well, that's rough. It's going to be going the other way. So bomb planted on B. Nothing that Joanna can do.
Really smart mid-rounding again from 9 Pandas Fearless. You lose a player out on the extremity over towards A. And what you can assume and deduce from that intel is that Joanna's going to push deep and kind of lock off that area of the map. But that will free the players in towards mid to gamble more over towards B. So instead, 9 Pandas Fearless, they go straight down the middle of the map. They have very good trade space in. Fatal collects a double. And because, you know, Joanna pushed initially out towards A, you just send your troops B and plant on the bomb site, completely avoiding Joanna. She will upgrade her FAMAS to an AK, but that's a small consolation prize because in actuality, 9 Pandas Fearless, they win the gun round out in supreme style. The money's gone on the CT side and the scoreline's level.
Once again, we start off the game with a very, well, close scoreline, but the bank is empty right now for Gamer Legion, which is, yeah, just a little more tough. They do have the hero AK in the hands of Joanna. Let's see if she can make her worth. To see where she's going to be playing. Looks to be out in towards the middle here, perhaps, as a teammate right beside goes for an aggressive peek. There's a nade. Oh! She's down to 17 HP already.
That's brutal. I like the fact she's going for a peek here, but Victoria has been holding this entire round. Waiting patiently, and it pays off. At least Kezi will retrieve the AK. If you got the pistols, you might as well just shove them out of an extremity, trying to find a kill. Instead, it's Tatty. It goes the other way. The molly starts to affect Mrs. Fire. That is unfortunate. Fire definitely not on her side and being her friend, and suddenly you've got a 5 versus 2. 9 Pandas Fearless can take this absolutely anywhere they desire.
Yeah, surely this is a relatively easy round now to pick up. Very little control. I mean, it could come in from camera. At least Mikari is here holding out for something. But then again, Yuto flying her way. She's just getting smoked off. And 9 Pandas should have this one very nice and clean in the bag.
Yeah, now the mini game for Gamer Legion is trying to hold on to the AK. You feel like 9 Pandas Fearless will hunt this a little bit. There it is. But you won't commit too many players towards this hunt. It's only a USP remaining. Mikari on the angle. Tatty will find her, but you've already got Victoria in position. It's a little bit messy. I think with that confirmed intel, now 9 Pandas are going to strike. We'll move forward. Good kills from Mikari, and they are being contained in towards the A bomb site, but ultimately Victoria gets the kill. A couple of trades. Really isn't the end of the world for 9 Pandas because look at their money. After the investment, it is very high. They can keep on purchasing. And for Gamer Legion Prism, a lot relies on this buy. Wouldn't even mind a timeout here to talk things through.
Someone not coming through. So Do they have the right ideas in mind? But is it going to be paying off? Because right now, Nine Pandas feelers definitely have got what it takes to really march on through. And we all know T-side Anubis is definitely a different game. Very different in comparison to a lot of other maps. I want to start things off very strong. Mrs. Fire knows that there's some A-long presence, so immediately some reinforcements being called over from Kezi. Was playing a bit deeper into the side, maybe trying to work up a bit of a close angle action. As is Joanna trying to make something work off of middle. Pandas don't look scared. They're just gonna go in hot. Oh, and the first kill comes on through. A very good flashbang to follow it up with. And this entire defense just crumbles.
It's just really simple Counter-Strike coming out from 9 Pandas. It's just a simple A execute onto the site. The flashbangs are delayed to get 9 Pandas in a position where as soon as they swing, the players are going to be blind. It's really sensible. Rather than dropping the smokes, the mollies, and instantly the flashes, you give it half a second, you wait for your teammates to crawl up on the angle, get posted, ready, 3, 2, 1, they're blind, you go around the corner, and there is not a single kill in response. Now this hunt can begin. Joanna, I don't think she's going to be able to keep this AWP, because on the other side is Shu. However, they just walked past her, but Joanna is scoping over at middle, rather than at her own spawn. It's completely reasonable, to be fair, but the AWP is dropped. And now you have good commonplace information about where Mikari and Melly survive. Tati will give this a go. Any kill is so good for this team. And it will be another one. Gamer Legion just reduced the singular M4.
Once again, very little money to work with. I think at most you can buy some upgraded pistols, some deagles, maybe some 7s, who knows. But it's definitely not going to be easy. It's a very uphill battle already right off the get-go. You had those 2 rounds right off the bat. And now it's starting to look a bit more, well, flat, I would say. And right now, trying to really find that momentum is going to be hard. You sort of have to see how much you can do with that singular M4. Everyone is gathered up here on mid with the exception of Joanna. Of course, they have been loving this A side a lot, so I do understand at least having one player there. And I do love this. 9 Pandas, they take it slow, just here and there, a couple of flashes flying. Just to make some noise, just to see what the response is going to be, and then take it step by step.
Really good angle here from Mikari. Just with the A1S. Fatal will peek, though, and push her back. Now on a very difficult angle, needs to fall away, and will manage it. But that's space gathered. And all in the meantime, you can see that Shu is creeping up towards A. Will get blocked out by a smoke, and Mrs. Fire will actually find that kill off the top of a boost.
Oh, and that's a rifle picked up so suddenly. Gamer Legion playing with 2. And they're trying to sort of gather up for this B push. A very nice thought, because that's exactly where that bomb is going to head. Immediately trying to spam through the smoke. Sure, Water is in control. Everyone on the back of the side needs to be dealt with, and that will be the case. Melly is going down. Still, those 2 rifles technically are alive, and you are maybe in this sort of tricky position. Do we just go on unsaved? Do we still try to make something out of this round? A boost comes on through. A very nice thought, but no one is actively peeking. One leg showing. Victoria can't quite deal with that. And suddenly, Gamer Legion still in for the round.
Yeah, but there's no kit. So you have to go now, and Fatal's just taking these fights one by one. Elizabeth, the next line of defense, and she is swinging in tandem with Tati. That is really well held by the 2 players locking off this bomb site. Gamer Legion Prism, the time was against them. They had to move forward, and they go straight into the crossfire.
And they deal with the pressure. It got very close, I have to admit. A lot of damage coming right on through on the back of just a single rifle. And this was just really well played. A very good positioning there with the pistol over towards A. You can pick up a rifle. And yeah, at least, you know, you have economically a much better round right now. You have Joanna back on an AWP. And rest on Fawn, rivals Fawn util. So it's looking good. Ooh, they're going in for a bit of a cheeky push, but it's being held. Oh, and the slow peek. That's not what you want to be giving Victoria. That's a freebie.
Look at the acceleration as well. Off the back of that one single kill and the contact, they now push through dark and they overwhelm. A dink and a kill. comes through for McCary, but it's still not enough. And we've spoken about economy, and now it's already weak. It's a 4-on-2. If you misses fire, you're probably just saving this one. I don't think you can realistically go for it. You play for exits, you try and hunt down this AWP, but Victoria's bank has already been built up to over 10,000. That's unfortunate. I like the ideas out of Game Legion Prism. It's really hard to try and find these opening kills, especially on the CT side. We saw a nade that blew up the smoke in towards Dark to have a little bit of a peek. Then Jonana comes out towards A, has got the support of the rifle, but Victoria holding a very narrow line punishes. Now 9 Pandas Fearless are starting to accelerate and escape the clutches of Gamer Legion Prism, who need to win this map in the series. Otherwise, it will be all said and done. And with Kezi dropping right at the very end, matters get even worse.
Yeah, and Gamer Legion, of course, are also dependent on G2 losing their respective game. So it's definitely not going to come easy for 9 Pandas if they just win this. They've got it in the bag.
Ooh, I can drop you a score update if you want. Speaking of that
I really want to know about that.
So, obviously, G2 took map 1. Currently, Guild are up 10-6 on map 2.
Oh.
Na'Vi Javelins have won their series against Shinigami. That second map was 13-2.
Oof,
so,
yes.
That's pretty dominant. In total, they dropped 5 rounds in 2 maps.
Yeah. Then again, what else did we expect from Na'Vi? Na'Vi
True.
is really steamlining through this almost season. Definitely a lot of scorelines that have been going in a similar fashion for them. Na'Vi, just an incredible strong contender here. I mean, they have been already in the past, so not surprised to see them live up to that standard once again.
This is awkward, because the smoke's been dropped in middle from Kezi, but Elizabeth and Fatal are already ahead of it.
Kezi? It's just holding out. Oh, Victoria actually misses. On the flip side, she gets tagged. Oh, but how that nade. It does a very nice chunk of damage. Flash in the face. And there's a very good trade at least here. Maybe now pressure up on the side. And the trades continue to be on. Joanna now hunts down Keisu, who does have the bomb, I think, on her back. And that's now back to being dropped. This is a very weird situation. Because Joanna's sort of taken out of the site. And we have sort of switched positions as time went on. Melly is close. Could maybe do something to these 2 remaining players, but Victoria stands tall, and Melly unfortunately crumbles.
It's quite clever, actually, because, look, McCary's rotated in towards middle. Jonana has gone from A main to mid as well, so they're going to walk together. Wide swing will collect Jonana. They're expecting A main, but she's there in camera to immediately trade. Really well played by Gamer Legion Prism. They're able to collect that round. They make it 6 rounds to 3, and 9 Pandas Fearless, you've got to give them full credit because they were trapped in that bomb site. That's a fight from within. They're able to put the bomb down. They're able to potentially make it a compromising position for Gamer Legion, but that one rotate from A main to mid, the fact it was so fast and decisive, wins that round out for the CT side.
For sure, they weren't expecting them to come from the same angle, and, well, there we have it. The first kill not quite their way. But the second definitely will. The trades, though, up in this round were on point, actually for both sides. But right there in the end, Gamer Legion did have the final word. And this was such a weird and awkward position that the CTs were so aggressive at pushing that one out. But in the very end, it did guarantee them that rotation over towards middle. And a third round with that up on the board. Still some making up to do. And of course, Gamer Legion is on CT side, so we would reckon 9 Pandas do a bit better on T. But let's see how much more Gamer Legion can really bring up this fight. Because they have the weapons. Let's see if they got the strat.
Honestly, 4 or 5 rounds is more than enough for Gamer Legion here on CT. The fact they've already got 3 and a couple more rounds to work with is pretty pivotal. The issue is they've got to do it the hard way. Any round loss and suddenly your money gets reset and it can escalate into a very big landslide victory here. Kezi I like the initiative. However, Fatal was holding the entire time. Now nades rain in because you've got this spacing towards water. Tati comes through the smoke, dealt with by Melly. But Elizabeth with the instant trade, not ready for McCary. It's about to come through the smoke though, but she adjusts just in time. And Shu collects the players pushing through A main. And well, unfortunately, we already reached that reality where the money's reset.
Yeah. The glimmer of hope immediately shut down. Nine Pandas just continue to streak as is. And, well, they definitely seem fearless. They just keep it rolling. Gamer Legion, they do buy up with at least some SMGs here and there. I think with the loss bonus sort of still that was coming into play, they can afford it on most. Let's see if that extra bit of firepower can scare them. Over here towards water got a little bit tricky, and look at this, they pincer them completely over towards water. And sure, they have some action going on towards this B-bomb site, but look at where the bomb is, and it's about to be retrieved by the CTs.
That's nice. And McCary even finds a follow-up in towards B. Melly tucked in the corner. Just waiting patiently. Should be able to get this kill unless Elizabeth hard clears her. No, MP9 will prevail. And now it's Fatal. Left stunned and shell-shocked by the amount of pace Gamer Legion throw into that round with nothing to lose, with limited investment. They throw everything at it. And it comes up in a resounding success with Mrs. Fire hitting that trade. Well done. Very good round indeed.
Last round of the half. Gamer Legion do bounce back, and as you were saying, 4-5. Sort of the benchmark here for CT4 is secured 5. Would be really nice. We could have ourselves a similar scoreline like we had over on Inferno. And then, of course, it's all going to come down to the next pistol. Very important round to come. But first, this one to wrap up the half. Once again, Joanna, quite aggressive sometimes with that orb, and this time will miss the shot, will be punished, and loses definitely a large chunk of her health. Needs to back off. With that, Nine Pandas can continue to get some space on the way.
I like that little nade to blow up the smoke, just to check there isn't any CTs hiding just in the close corner. A very cool smoke being thrown out of spawn by Tati as well, that went towards the front of Dark. Which meant that although Joanna could peek, she was a little bit trapped. Here comes that A utility. It's all reliable for Nine Pandas Fearless, but Joanna has rotated. Now she's in close proximity, but can't be traded out. Will finally take Kezi, but it will only be 1.
2 versus 3. It's an extremely tough situation. The CTs both coming in from different angles. And of course, they are a person down. They need to really ramp up the fire. And the first kill not quite going their way. Victoria attacked the fire, but still, it's an uphill battle. You're up against 3 women who have taken such strong afterplan positions. And the time is just continuing to tick away. Nothing is handed to McCary. That smoke eventually it will fade, but the amount of time that has already been chipped away. Once again, a missed opportunity. And this looks like a death sentence. At least gets 1 more, but surely there's not going to be enough time. Victoria wraps around, and even though she does get 1 more kill, Fatal finishes it off. It is 8-4 here in half number 1.
Nachigera yakontuante tunawana sambie Nachigera Tuante unangwana ne
Day after day, it's the same thing. Like we've hit a brick wall. Sick of the games you've been playing, and now you're losing it all. Don't just walk away like you already know what I'm gonna say. 'Cause I am letting go. Had enough of this. I'm so over
Eight rounds here for 9 Pandas Fearless as they look to stamp authority on their map pick. But for Gamer Legion Prism, look, it all begins with a pistol, and they obviously won the CT one on this map. If they can convert it, and then the follow-up, suddenly the scoreline looks a lot closer.
Pistol round is everything here. It's the ticket for Gamer Legion to get back into this game. And they're going to try to do it with a full-on B execute. Flashes and smokes are starting to rain. And it's going to be really difficult right now for 9 Pandas to get a grip back on the site. It's not going to be easy. And already McKerry is holding out for the flank to come from behind. And she does so with 2 kills in the pocket.
Yeah, nicely done. But look at Victoria's scaling. Sure, can't see anything at the moment, but Fatal will instead take the contact. And Victoria will help out, but isolated between all of them, it just means that Fatal is remaining. A 1 versus 3 required on the cards has secured the first. Tap on the bomb, trying to drag out these players, but they're not peeking, so Fatal will take the fight straight to them. Another tap on the bomb. McCary calls the bluff, and that is the right decision. Gamer Legion Prism win both of these pistols in Anubis.
Very, very well played. McKerry here really being the hero up on the most frags currently for Gamer Legion as well. And yeah, she single-handedly held out up flank, at least from one angle. With that, they had water control. They could just sit there with 2 players strong and yeah, just wait for the push to come in. And sure, it got dicey, it got close, but all those frags were so high impact that in the end made the difference. Now 9 Pandas, bank empty, nothing they can do, just have to eco this one out and try again. The next, of course, there's a large buffer for them to work with in regarding the round, but this is nice. Gamer Legion can start to build the confidence back up.
No, absolutely. And look, when you take a look at Gamer Legion on the face of it, and we can have a little chin wag and think about look, their history on Anubis. Kezi, Jonanna, they used to play on Astralis, and Astralis used to play Anubis quite a lot. So they've got the experience. Kezi knows how to call on this map as well. It's just whether the strats are going to be the same and similar to their tenure on Go, because as you mentioned, Villas, we've not really seen them on CS2 yet. So we'll have to wait and see how it pans out. Good spacing in towards middle, and a smoke goes forward, and it traps this whole stack in the bomb site.
Oh, the smoke phase! Which is a little bit of a peekaboo action from Victoria. She does actually escape back into the site. As Elizabeth gets a kill, that's nice, but of course, immediately with that information, Gamer Legion is going to be making a run here for this B site. Get the bomb planted. Okay, so falls. Elizabeth does land herself another shot, and there's a couple more kills coming in, and suddenly rifles being picked up. They're quite close, but Joanna deals with the first one, so it's up on the shoulders of Victoria. Already got a couple, has her back turned, and nothing that she can do in this case. It's a nice effort. They made it close, definitely a bit more costly here for the Gamer Legion squad, and now 9 Pandas can buy up.
That's a wipe a sweat off the brow moment if you're Gamer Legion. That falls into a 2 versus 2. It's just USPs. It's chaotic. And it's quite funny because you see the push from A main and you see the players fighting from camera. But 9 Pandas fearless. And the comms for Gamer Legion Prism are just like, oh my god, they're stacked A. Go B, go B, go B. And everyone just sprints there. Fortunately enough, they're able to convert the round. First full gunny now for the second half, and 9 Pandas fearless. Reacquaint Victoria with the AWP, and a fast play in towards B looks to offset that. An immediate trade. Tati still on the bomb site, but gets overrun by Melee.
Very strong start already here for Gamer Legion, and on the back of that, bomb planted, and once again, 9 Pandas just have no choice but to back off. Let it be, save the AWP, save the rifle, and go again. But this is the moment where things are starting to get sweaty and dicey. Gamer Legion getting real close now.
And it's not just on this server. It's in all of the servers in the European region. Guild have just beaten G2 13-11 on G2's map pick. They've traded map picks and now they go to a decider. Interesting, because obviously we outlined the specifications for qualifying for playoff matches for a chance to make it to the LAN final in Valencia. If Guild win that series and Gamer Legion reverse sweep and beat 9 Pandas fearless here, they will make the playoffs. However, if G2 win, sorry, I tried to do a dramatic pause. If G2 win and then Gamer Legion still beat 9 Pandas, then G2 qualify for the playoff game. It relies on so many different results.
I know, each team is sort of dependent on another team's performance as well. 9 Pandas is sort of one of the only few who are in the clear if they just win. They are not necessarily reliant on others. But then again, they have to win. And we were sort of expecting them to do it on this map, but right now I'm not so certain anymore. It's getting close. Potential tied up scoreline to come right after this, but who knows what Victoria could do on the AWP is completely forced to go back. It's too risky to sit up close with an AWP. But this is actually a very nice position that she takes in with Fatal. Have Fatal up on the close with the pistol, and they can work very well off one another, but only sad part being, no one is going mid. Instead, out through water they will come. Elizabeth then to deal with 3 players at her end, as well as Tati, and it's getting scary. They're still alive, but not for that much longer.
I mean, look, you can post Victoria on this angle. You can wait with the rifles, but it might be better off saving this AWP. However, if you look at the close range positions of where 9 Pandas have managed to get themselves to just as this bomb is planted, it isn't a bad idea to give this a look in, especially with Victoria finding Joan Anna and nearly onto Kezi, shoulder spotted, but head presented. Here comes that backstab though. Fatal will strike. It's a 2-on-2.
Pressure is up though. Xu is by herself, and actually that Fire is doing a very good job of trying to force out McCary. She does go for the swing, and that is very, very well played. Util really made the difference here in this case. And I would have to say Victoria did massive damage up on the AWP as well. She played that close angle. I thought there was even a shot that she could get the player deep tucked in the sight. But the amount of space that she dared to take for her team was so powerful. And, well, pretty much single-handedly saved the round right there.
It's just that with all of these nades going in, with the fire and the flames, it makes it so uncomfortable for McCary. She feels like she has to peek immediately, which is really awkward. You're not sure whether 9 Pandas fearless invested an extra $400 into the kit or not. This is fast, by the way. They are sprinting out A, and she was burnt alive McCary already.
it off strong. Really a bit of a punch in the face for Gamer Legion, who've been having very solid rounds, at least here in the second half. Now you have to crawl back from that loss. Now the bomb is still dropped over towards A waters. But looks like maybe Gamer Legion once again want to try and see if they could set foot up on B. This temple area is not quite being held. Elizabeth wants to maybe take a bit of a look in. Then again, is she going to account for a player to already be so close? Yes, but Kezi is the one winning up that duel.
That invokes all this utility now to be dropped there. Victoria, her sole responsibility is just to hold this B main angle. You have to rely and trust that Tati will be. However, with that smoke, it provides a limited opportunity. But it gives a lot of intel over. You've just heard them and seen them escape. They are running over towards A, and Shu cuts off the mid-rotate. Nine Pandas Fearless know what's up. They're in the perfect positions. That flashbang is absolutely everything.
Oh, and they start to crumble. Only 20 seconds. Tati does fumble the bag a little bit on that spray. But still, Mrs. Fire, very low already, stuck in between two players. And all that they have to do is just wait out the timer. There's only 7 seconds. Sure, the smoke can give some coverage, but not for that much longer. The pistol will finish her off. And 9 Pandas up on double digits, marching just an inch closer to winning up the series and to qualifying to Valencia.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, the lack of getting this bomb down means everything, because you could potentially force into this if you wanted to for Gamer Legion. However, double stage loss bonus, it makes sense just to have the half investment anyway. Now the primary objective for them is to plant this bomb and try and make this one a little bit more competitive. The fire spreads. That's unfortunate, but Victoria misses the AWP shot, and Tati, I was going to say she's nearly run over, but no, she's not. She's in complete control.
So you think for a second the pistols could make it scary, but that's not going to be the case. They stand their ground, they make it clean, have that buffer now to try and close it out. Now Gamer Legion, it's an uphill battle, but they have the economy now behind them to buy up again into this round. And maybe would have liked to see another timeout come through, because this round is going to be so important. This is your shot to, once again, get back into the game.
More results coming in live as it happens. One Win Gang versus Nigma Galaxy. That one ends 2-0 to Nigma Galaxy. They win 13-9 on that second map, so they lock themselves in the first position. They don't need to play the playoff game. They've immediately qualified through. We'll get back to other results in a second here, because it looks like a fight is going to take place here at Dark.
Elizabeth does get forced out, but not far away enough. Still takes on the duel, and Mikiri once again is sort of baited into that and loses her life. And look at this. The proactiveness that's coming around the corner for 9 Pandas is not even stopping. They get a kill on one part of the map, and they continue to hunt down information. They want to really sandwich Gamer Legion, try to pincer them up on the side, and it's a bit of a weird round, because they try to enter sort of one by one. The bomb still dropped, and it's now Melly who is in charge to pick that up. But by the time that she is gonna have the bomb, it's already 2v5.
It gets really complicated now. The only thing going, I suppose, for Gamer Legion is that there's limited utility. But the Incendiary is going to hold progression for a moment. Shu is in with the backstab. That makes Anna feel incredibly uncomfortable. Nearly finds 2 kills. Instead, it's Tati that puts her in an early grave. Series point now coming in for 9 Pandas Fearless, and a tactical timeout being called for Gamer Legion.
Yeah, I really thought maybe the timeout should have been coming in the previous round, because right now you're really going to be struggling. You're going to have Mac 10 sort of at most, and it's really a struggle trying to find the win up against Victoria with super impactful no orb, and Fatal just continues to push. Also, speaking about Fatal's actually going into this best of 3. She was a player really dangling at the bottom of the scoreboard. Of course, we know that she can call for her team, and maybe she's not necessarily there for impact fragging, but she has been popping off time and time again, trying to create space for her team, and she is just stepping up in the moment that it needs to be.
BP Angels have just beat Entafina 13-5 to send that one into a third map. So many games going to 3 maps in the last week. Really highlights the competitive nature. Elizabeth blows open the smoke, but doesn't reveal any Game Allegiant players behind it. They are waiting and congregating to go for this final stand over at B with all these MAC 10s.
Playing a bit slower. The bomb is just waiting outside the B main entry. Victoria holding out for it. And the util might make the difference if she gets blinded. Well, not quite. And there we go. First kill has striked. Joanne at least will trade. And some people sort of try to creep around. That's a very good sandwich up on that B side. But once again, Tati does deliver. And oh, that's a bit of a struggle there up on the spray. And actually, oh, Tati falls. Suddenly, it's all up on Fatal's shoulders. She's tucked in the sight. She's going to be pushing the smoke. Oh, Joanna just gets off the bomb and now misses fire. She is so low, and of course it's Fatal to take home this series and to secure the spot for Valencia.
Well, potentially, right? They're going to be in the second position, so they've got one more best of 3 to try and make it, but they have guaranteed that. What a fantastic series from 9 Pandas Fearless. Faced adversity on Inferno. Game Allegiant Prism gave them a real run for their money, but on Anubis, it was